heard of Dr. Mahathir. In his period as Prime Minister, during the first period, he proposed the idea that to create a great nation, to create a successful nation, we need to focus on science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Well, I say that's wrong. Because in my view, to create a great citizen, to create a great nation, we do not need to focus on science, technology, engineering. Our education do not need to rely on those subjects. But rather, I propose that we focus more on arts. On humanitarian. Okay, so there are a few reasons why I support this idea, and I will show you through the power of movies. Okay, firstly, we need all to agree that movies is a form of art. I'm sure all of you is quite accustomed to the fact that music can change your mood. Like when you hear to peaceful music, you become peaceful. When you hear to rock music, your self-esteem goes higher, and so forth. When you see a picture, it also changes your mood. Such as when you see a cute picture of cat, it releases your stress. When you combine these two elements, you create movies. And movies is the combine of music and images, and it amplifies the effects of both. There are several reasons why I think movies are the reason that we must focus arts than science. First of all, movies tell a story. In a scientific nation like such as ours, we learn history through facts. As my friend Waidas has told us, that we learn subject based on points, based on facts, but never really the teachers tell a story of what happened. But that's different from movies. When movies, it doesn't tell you the facts, because that's boring. We have to admit, facts are boring. But movies, they tell the facts in a dramatic way. They tell a story in a more memorable way, in ways that we don't have to memorize every day after class, in ways that we don't have to, learn about it and do exercises on. And one such example is Schindler's List. Why this movie is so memorable is the fact that it tells a story of Oskar Schindler. Oskar Schindler, if we say it through factually, we might never remember the man. But through movies, it tells the story of how a man struggles to save 1,000 Jewish lives, people, and how the movie tells us about how, in the end, because of his actions, he has successfully saved around 1,000 Jewish lives from being executed by the Nazi Germany. And through movies, I get told of this information. It's not through history. It's through movies. It's through art. That's number one. Number two, movies, arts, it changes people's mindset. First of all, when we are told about superheroes, we are often told the fact that superheroes are good. They're good people. Their intention is always noble. But that's not always the fact. If you ever watch Watchmen, have you ever watched Watchmen?
Yeah.
Okay, so Watchmen tells a story. One of the heroes is Rorschach. Now Rorschach is a hero, but the problem with Rorschach is that he has a stance in that he will never compromise. But in the end, he compromises. Such as a scene where he did not kill a woman because the woman gave him information. He did not kill a man because in the end, the man was useful to him. Because in the end, heroes are humans. And humans, they do not have really a concrete stance. And through the movie of Watchmen, our mindset is changed from heroes from being noble and inhumane through heroes are more human and like us. In the end, through the movie Watchmen, I believe I can also be a hero without me having such noble ideas. That's number two. Number three, movies present a new idea in a very interesting way. For example, if we were told that AI was going to betray us. That fact probably came, you probably thought it came from Stephen Hawking, but actually that fact came from a movie that was directed by Stanley Kubrick, 2001: A Space Odyssey, where the movie depicted where a group of astronauts were heavily dependent on an AI, but in the end, the AI betrayed them and casted them away into deep space, and in the end, the astronaut died. Through this movie, the audience, the people, were presented a new idea that in our pursuit to create AI to help us, in the end, the AI might eventually betray us. And at first, the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey was very controversial because it did not occur to many people that the AI that we were so going to be heavily dependent on is going to betray us. And this movie also inspired Stephen Hawking to create the theory, to also support the theory that AI will also betray us. Henceforth, many more movies are also inspired by the movie 2001.
Skynet.
The Skynet, and also maybe iRobot if you once watch it by Will Smith. So, in my speech, I have told you why arts is a very powerful tool to propose a new idea, to change the people mindset. If people were lazy, were not very motivated to do something, watch movies. Because movies tell us a story, and each story has its own morals. And these morals changes us. We cannot learn morals through reading a book. We never learn the true value of family through reading a science book, through reading a biology book. Even though we know that biologically they're our father, biologically we are their son. But it is through movies we understand the value of a father, how it means to be a father, to sacrifice for the family, and how we benefit from it. It's not through science, not through technology, not through engineering, not through maths, but it's through arts, specifically through movies. Thank you.